A former police detective in Modesto who found himself at the center of trying to solve this case that had received so much attention from the public and the world. Jon Buehler is joining us live tonight. Sir, we appreciate your time.
Happy to be here.
First of all, your reaction to today's resentencing, given the fact that you are closer to this case than most.
Well, there were a lot of us who were really close to the case. It was a big team effort, and there was nothing really surprising to me today. I pretty much expected this. This is kind of how these things go. There are some kind of unintended consequences of this. Scott is going to leave the relative security of death row to potentially go into general population, which puts him at greater danger than he would be if he was on death row. Although the California Department of Corrections is one of the most professional custodial organizations in the world, they're going to have their hands full trying to protect him and keep him away from other inmates that may see him as a target.
You heard the defense attorney moments ago say that he has been falsely accused. Peterson's family is still going to fight for a retrial. Any doubt in your mind as an investigator on this case that Scott Peterson did not kill Lacey and Connor?
Not one doubt at all. I haven't had a doubt since the jury came back. I didn't have a doubt before the jury came back. When we put the case together, it was put together like most premeditated murder investigations are, as a circumstantial case, because premeditated murder doesn't usually provide you the luxury of a witness or a videotape. We eliminated every other possible scenario there was, and of course, people will bring these up and they have their own theories, and I get that, but you have to ignore an enormous mountain of circumstantial evidence to believe that Scott didn't do this. And especially when you throw in the fact that there was a $500,000 reward leading to the return of Lacey, to think that more than one person could be involved in this and they wouldn't turn on each other for that amount of money, that's another thing that kind of strains my imagination a little bit. But I get the family, they're loyal, they love Scott, and I would expect that, and I wouldn't think anything different of them. You know, they got to do what they got to do. The defense attorneys, of course, they want to, make their win and everything like that. If they see a chink in the case and they want to go after it, I get it. They'll do that. The attorneys that were involved in our case, the prosecutors, Birgit and Dave and Rick, they were skilled prosecutors before this case ended up on their desk, and I'm confident that they'll be able to put it together again if we end up back in trial again on it.
You bring up circumstantial evidence. Scott Peterson still maintains his innocence, though. His attorney's asking for that new trial. If that happens, are you confident that any new evidence presented will change the outcome in this case in February or beyond?
Well, it's interesting because it's always a crapshoot or a roll of the dice with a jury. You never really can call what a jury's going to do, and having gone through I can't even remember how many jury trials I sat through, but there were dozens and dozens of them. Jurors, it's interesting. They always have this poker face for the most part when they're sitting up there. You try to guess what they're doing, but it's very difficult. If the jury sees it through common sense and they compare the absurdity of the fact that somebody else could have done this, I think they'd come to the right verdict. But again, you just really never can read a jury on that. And I still think the first jury got it right. I would expect that a lot of your viewers probably see it the same way. But of course, there's always people out there that see it another way. And I get that. But that's what the jury system is for. So the standard is high beyond a reasonable doubt. But we met that standard once. I'm confident that we would be able to do that again.
However, the Supreme Court did step in a year ago, and that brings us to today in the resentencing, raising some red flags. Do you believe that Scott Peterson got a fair trial, given some questions about one juror in the case?
Yeah, I don't have any doubt on the fairness of the trial. The trial judge was very skilled. He'd been around the courtroom for many, many years. Decisions he made during the trial on what evidence could come in and what would be excluded were very beneficial to the defense side. And even after that, we still got the right verdict. Now, there's speculation on both sides. I can understand the jurors' take on why she didn't think that her prior situations were relevant to the case or to the jury selection part. But anytime you have a death penalty case, it always throws a big wrench into the works, because the potential of losing good jurors that just don't believe in the death penalty is always there. And so now, if it did go back to trial, we wouldn't have the disadvantage of having to have a death-qualified jury to deal with. We would just have to find a good jury, and through jury selection, hopefully that's what we would get.
Jon, it was chilling to listen to Laci's family's comments today addressed to Scott Peterson in court. This has been almost 20 years ago, 17 years to be exact. Hearing the families today, there are clearly raw emotions involved for them and always will be. This was your job to investigate this case, but did you become emotional as you investigated and learned new details, and all these years later?
Well, you know, our team had done a lot of murder investigations before this, and you have to learn to deal with the emotion of family members. But you can always rely on Sharon and Amy and Brent and even Laci's friends to say the most heart-tugging things at the right time, phrased in the right tone, to just tear at your heartstrings. So you do have cases that you run into over the years if you work the murders long enough that you remember and they stay with you. Of course, this one does. And it's really unfortunate this time of year that, of course, they're going to be reminded of the death of Laci every time during the holiday season. But then to have to throw this added tragic thing that they have to deal with to have it back in court is even more profound for them to have to deal with this. So I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Scott's family, because the actions that he did affected their family too. They don't have him around the holidays either, because he's locked up. And it's unfortunate for everybody involved in this, but that's what happens when somebody kills somebody. The
grief is hard to comprehend for any of us, and February is the date we have marked on our calendars as the defense would like to see a retrial in this case. Jon Buehler, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.